Hi,
Hello, everyone.
I'm Angie and I'll be running Earthbound today, any percent glitchless.
And I'm Random Pink Bunny, and I will be asking all the questions.
Alrighty, so we got 5 flavors and you get to pick Bunny. There's plain, mint, strawberry, banana, and
Oh, okay.
So it just like changes the window color like this.
Oh, I prefer pink.
You want the strawberry? Alright.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So we'll just name the characters and stuff real quick. Alrighty.
Wow.
3.
It's like a dating website.
Alright, 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so this is gonna be a pretty long game. Yeah, many of you might know it, some of you won't, but it's called Earthbound. It was released really early in the 90s, mid-90s. To start off, it's not too bad. All we have to do is like make our way around town, buy some burgers, fight a big ant, and he could be a jerk. He could kill us like maybe 5 times, hopefully not. But yeah, it's a really silly game. There's not really anything crazy. There's some parts that get a little intense. So if you hear me like panic or scream a bit, that's don't worry too much about it. Just my natural reaction, I guess.
That's
but besides
okay.
that, yeah.
I have the same reactions for my games.
Right? God, I don't know. I'm like always in this anxious state, but when I play games, it like amplifies. So I'm just like, ah!
Yeah.
So yeah, the game starts off with like Ness sleeping and hears a sound, and it's the meteorite that crashes. So of course, like, you know, as a child, you're like, hey, what's that? So we're gonna get up and then go into Tracy's room and we're gonna pick up the cracked bat. We're gonna use this for some damage, not too much. And we'll be buying something a little bit afterwards. Before we go fight the town bullies. And I'll probably pick up the dog on the way to Meteorite Hill the second time, just for the heck of it. And we're gonna meet up with our best friend Pokey, who's not actually our best friend. He's just a jerk.
Oh, okay. A fake best friend.
Yes, he's a frenemy. That's what he is to Ness. So you get up and try to investigate. He's just like, "What are you doing? You're bugging the officers. Quit rubbernecking." So you just gotta go back home. And then it says later that night, and you hear a very obnoxious knocking on the door. And of course you gotta get up again, because who could it be?
We're not getting any sleep, it seems.
Nope. It's just the thing with RPGs, isn't it? Like, the characters never sleep. Like, they're always awake.
Definitely, I think so. No time to rest or anything, just gotta keep going.
Yep. Hey, look, it's Pokey. So he basically comes to the door and he tells you, like, his little brother escaped and he doesn't know where he is, and if he doesn't, like, get his little brother, then he's basically dead by parents. So, of course, sweet little Ness is like, alright, sure, I'll go with you. I'll go find your brother. So then Mom tells you to get out of your jammies and get going. So we'll bring our doggy King. Do you want me to go with you? Yes. Let's go. And then this idiot...
adventure.
Yeah, pretty much. This is actually when it starts. Dad's gonna give us a call and just let us know that we have an ATM card. And whenever we need money, it's there. But the way the money works with this game, it's every enemy you defeat, you get like X amount of dollars. So everything's pretty much scripted as far as like what we fight in the game. There's some fights that we don't have to take, and normally when we go up to Meteorite Hill, we just try to avoid everything. So we don't take damage. We don't lose time that way either. Oop, well, I fought a crow. Try to like get him stuck on the trees, but he was like, no, I'll just move. And I was like, oh, okay, that's alright. He's gonna be a little hard to hit. We might actually die, but that's because he's really fast. Yeah, right. That's okay. Just have to talk to Mom and heal again.
It's a very interesting battle system.
Yeah. Yeah, so you can't see the kids attack. And, everything's basically just a little tile, and the backgrounds get really strange. But at least the music's good. The butterfly, right? Just try to be a little more careful. Not used to like commentating and doing this run, so if I make any silly mistakes, I'm sorry. I don't trust you again.
Now we have trust issues.
Yep, with the crow, jerks, yeah, the birds are jerks, jerk bird. I can try to drag him down. Come here, gotta come closer. Sorry if you hear the thumping, but we do this, it's called Stutter Stepping. And there's some enemies that only move when Ness moves, so we do that to avoid the encounters. You're gonna see it a bit in the cave coming up where we fight Ant, Belch's Base, Mole Cave, Grapefruit. If there are any Antoids that spawn. Alright, so that was a little better. And then the dog's like, whoa, if I knew it was gonna be so scary, I wouldn't have come. And he runs back home. But there's Picky, so it's okay.
That is great.
Isn't it? And then Picky is like, man, I fell asleep and you were gone. Like, I wonder who's the real big brother here. So then here comes Buzz, and he tells you the prophecy of Earthbound, which is the story of this evil entity trying to take over Earth. And it's up to 3 boys and 1 girl to save the world, basically, and one of the boys is Ness. And like the thing with this game is, whenever a character tells a story, like you have to be careful because they'll be like, do you want me to repeat the story? And if you're just mashing A, then you say yes, and he repeats it another time. It's like, oops.
I've done that in a different RPG.
Yeah.
It's sad. Like, no, I didn't really want to. But...
Yeah, you're just sitting there like mashing. It's like, why am I reading this again? It's like, god dang it.
Short-term memory loss, you know? You gotta just repeat it until you remember it.
Right. It's alright, you play the games enough, then you'll remember everything. People are just like, whoa! It's like, it's not that impressive. Like, I just sit on my butt for like 10 hours a day playing this game. Like, of course I'm gonna have everything memorized. So yeah, Buzz joins the team, and here we're gonna fight our first boss. Like, he's a mini boss. It's nothing crazy or too tough. All we have to do is set it on auto fight. And every other turn, Buzz will put up a shield and an attack. And then Starman Jr. will also do something different every turn. Like, he'll either guard, he'll use fire, or freeze. I prefer freeze because it only aims for 1 target versus fire aiming for everyone. Like that. Alright, it's not too bad. Yeah, Buzz won't always do the same damage unless you're doing manip for this game. Sometimes he'll be like, I want to hit for 29, and then he'll hit for 150. It's like, can you do the 150 a little more often, please?
Gotta get them crits.
Yeah. So this fight without Nip can last maybe up to like 6 attacks from Buzz. That's if you're really unlucky. That's it, you win. You did absolutely nothing, but you won.
Nice.
Then we're gonna drop these little fellas off. Yeah, these neighbors are just really, really mean in general. Like, the dad tells you, like, man, I'm tired of you guys living next door. When are you leaving? And then Ardna kills Buzz, and it's like, oh, well, bye, friend. He's like, oh, the pain. And then he's like, wait, before I die, and then tells you the story.
He has time to tell you that?
Yep. Before dying, he's like, hey, you gotta listen to this real quick. And then you say yes, and then say no, because if you say yes again, guess what?
He has enough breath to tell you all over again.
Yep, as he's dying. Goodbye, Buzz. Alright, now most of the craziness does begin. Some scary stuff, but if I play it a little safe, then we should be okay. But even if I play it safe like Frank, it's not really gonna matter. We're just gonna have to hope for the best and him to not do too much damage or hurt us too often. So we're gonna go in this treehouse in the back. We're gonna get a cap. And we're gonna equip it, and that way we can sell it and then equip the other cap that we end up buying and buy the cheap bracelet, and it'll give us more not offense, it's defense. The bat's gonna give us more offense. Then we're just gonna get this hamburger out of the trash can because we're gonna need it later.
Oh my god, really?
Yep. And then we're gonna take out some money, do some shopping. Yeah, it's gross once you think about it.
Yeah. He's that hungry, he doesn't want to actually pay for food.
Right. I accidentally bought the same bat, so we're just gonna have to take out the other 10. Keep making that mistake. Sell. Where is it? You sell this one. Gotta sell both now. Alright, go a little slower. Alright. Oops. I don't have enough. Oh, that's right, I didn't sell it. Or I should have bought that first. Forgive me. Here comes the rust. But it should just be for on it, because once we get out, I'm just like, sweet relief, sweet freedom. I don't have enough money. What? Did I take everything out? Oh, that's what happened. I ended up dying. Alright, I know what we're gonna do. We're just gonna have to fight a shark, and then come back for it. Not that one, though. Not the scary ones. Although they're all pretty scary. As long as he's nice, that's all that matters. It's not being nice, buddy. Don't charge. Oh god, well, we're dead. Oh, this is a great song. This is why I put the estimate for like... Oh, we lost half of our money too. Oh no. Ooh, this is going great. This is what happens when you don't do a run in like God knows how long.
It's just a nice detour.
Yeah, it's alright. It's RNG manip, so the rest of the game will treat us a little better. We're gonna get the famous picture too. So there are triggers in this game where if you hit them, this man will come down and he's like, hey, let's take a picture. It'll work for a great memory. And then he just leaves. Come here. I'm gonna have to fight some enemies because we made the oopsies. Alright, that's a little better. More HP. Alright, I'll fight you too, it's alright.
This is just the impromptu grinding segment. Where we
Of course!
level up Ness.
Alright, so we're gonna be doing a little more damage now. Okay, we got a breath roll too, so that's cool. It's a healing item. Whatever items the characters can eat or drink, it normally just heals you. There are some that recover psychic points though later.
Yeah. For Chrono Trigger, they ended up having some ISP issues, and had to stop. So we switched in Earthbound.
Oh, we only have $6 from that fight. Yeah, so I'm sorry if this like goes a little poorly, but I'll do my best to like catch back up to where we need to be. Whoops. Would help if we walk the right way. Oh my goodness gracious, there's so many sharks.
They're like in a herd.
Yeah, it's the scary thing, it's like, oh no. One kung. Alright, now's not the time to miss, thank you. Nest, please, thank you.
Awesome.
Oops. I'm not sure if these sharks will actually give me enough money for it, but we're gonna have to hope for it. If not, then we're gonna have to grind some more. Alright, good. Alright, he's not doing too much damage. Thought he was gonna do more. Alright. We're gonna go, like, check our money anyway and save. This Frank is probably gonna be pretty mean. Sorry for these little detours, but it's pretty scary. Yeah, there we go.
Get to see more of the game.
Alright, good, we're good. We have enough. Thank God. Alright, save, because I mean, if we die, we're just gonna go back home, and then Mom has to heal us again. Alright, we're back on track. Everything's good. Without manip? Ooh, it depends. Like, if you do only on-net manip, then it saves about, like, 10 minutes, I'd say, but if it's on-net in Tucson, I think it's about 20. Or no, it's 20 minutes with on-net and then, like, about 30 with Tucson. Sorry, it's been a while. Oh, I didn't heal. Alright, we should do that right now.
Yeah, Chrono Trigger had internet issues, so we've switched over to Earthbound.
It was last minute, and I haven't ran this game in a while, so forgive me for the rest. That's why we died, and I was like, oh hey, we don't have enough money. But I think it'll be alright from now on.
Those backgrounds are pretty psychedelic.
Yep. Always thought like the creators were on acid or something when they made this game, because holy bananas. Yeah, there's another mechanic that I really like about this game is when your HP is rolling down, like the boss or enemy hits you and you're about to die, but you recover or beat the enemy before your HP actually hits 0, you'll survive and win the fight. So you're gonna see some scary calls, but... Alright, there we go. Should be fine. Oops, sorry, I hit the table there.
Don't hurt yourself.
I mean,
hurt the enemies.
I always wonder, like, how I get all of these bruises, and then I remember, like, how much I actually end up hurting myself by mistake. So after we beat Frank, we have permission to go up to where our first sanctuary is. We just have to heal and then get the key from the mayor, and then we're gonna go buy some burgers as well, as long as we have sufficient funds. Although if we have at least 5 burgers, then it should be fine. For Ant Cave, we're just gonna have those as like a backup to heal for Ant. So it's gonna be kind of a slow part right now, because all we're gonna do is grind until we get to level 8. And that's when we learn our first psychic attack with Ness, which is PSI Rockin', or whatever you end up naming your favorite thing. So with that, we'll use 2 for Ant, and then just bash it out until we finish him off, and hope that Ant doesn't give us too much trouble. If I can squeeze through. Alright, we have more than enough. Oops. So yeah, here you want to be careful. Like I said, you know, all of the items heal your HP, but if you end up buying the can of fruit juice, instead of healing like a potential 50 with the hamburger, you're only going to heal 6 with that. And that's not very helpful. It might be for when you have to fight like the little hula hoop junior man in the arcade, but definitely not when we're up here. Shack. We still have that can of fruit juice. I'll probably save that for a little bit later. So here we're gonna have to play the patience game, because sometimes the slugs will either spawn at the top or at the bottom. Just gotta hope that they spawn at the bottom. The reason why we fight the slugs is because they're a lot weaker than the rowdy mice, which is that little rat you see on the screen, and then the other enemies in the cave are antoids. And they like to call for help and just give Ness the beating of his life, aka just bite him because they're ants. Like, what else can they do, right? They also like to drop cookies. There we go. Tends to take a while. You can also go to the top floor, but sometimes ants will spawn instead of the slugs. And I still have a hard time. It doesn't matter how game. It gives me a hard time on like differentiating between the slugs and the ants. So I'll make it up there sometimes, and if another runner's watching, they're like, you know that's an ant, right? It's like, no, I didn't know. And it's just like a forced battle at that point. But yeah, sometimes if you see like a single enemy and you know, it just says you won, it's an auto win because you're a lot stronger than the enemy. It's based off of like what your offense is, and sometimes it'll be like a 50-50 or like a lower chance to actually auto win, but if you have the right amount of offense, then it'll be an easy victory. Jesus Christ. Alright. This guy just doesn't want to disappear. Ooh, it's very laggy. Alright. Alright, that's better. Alright, let me see. Alright, should be like one more fight, even if it's with 2 slugs. Then we can make our way to Ant. That's only if they spawn! Come on, there we go. Alright, I'll take the 4, that's alright. Alright, our offense went up by 4. We should have enough to be able to one-shot the tiny ants at least. Yeah, you're gonna see a lot of like left and right walking too, and that's just to despawn enemies. So we don't really want anything else, any other encounters besides like what we should be fighting or any of the bosses that are fought in the future. And here we're gonna get a butterfly, and that's gonna put us back up to our max psychic points.
The magic butterfly. Okay.
Yep, and it made him relax.
All right.
Totally not on drugs, right?
That's what I was thinking.
Oops. Alright, 65. As long as both the ants in the background die, because if they don't, then they life up on Titanic Ant. They just recover his HP to the max. That's not very fun. So he's gonna do that, or he's gonna bite, or he's gonna shield, and he also does magnet, which sucks away your psychic points, like that. So as long as he does anything but attack, then that's the best thing, really. And not attack for 27 or higher. I don't like it when he does that much damage. Alright, good. That went smoothly. So whenever we visit these sanctuary locations, like, Ness will remember something from his childhood. It's basically like part of his brain is unlocking, or his mind, for like more of his psychic powers. And you'll get to see like the unleashment at the end of the run. How many burgers do we have?
Alright.
This one. Yeah, it's weird.
Going
game.
a different direction.
It's a very strange game, but like it has a really good sense of humor. Like, you have to talk to all of the computers in town, like, if anyone ever plays this game, which is just so funny. It's a lot of fun. Alright, so next we're gonna fight the cops, because Ness is trying to leave on it to save the world, and they're like, well, you think you're so tough, huh? And they start beating on the child, which is real cool, right? And then the cops can do 2 different attacks. It's their regular attack, or they'll do a crushing chop. And occasionally they'll like to crit as well, and if they crit with the crushing chop, that's even worse, because they're gonna do a little bit more damage. Although I think it's the same if they end up doing a regular crit. So all we're gonna do is attack, and we're gonna save 2 Rockins for the next boss that we fight, which is just Captain Strong. Gotta stop missing too, that would be ideal. Alright. Yeah, they take 3 hits, 1 if you crit them. They have a chance to drop a hamburger too, which will help.
I'm not sure why we need to fight the policemen to prove that we're tough. Like, we're just a little kid.
Right, exactly. Like, you would think, right? It's like, hey, I gotta save the world. They're like, you're so tough. Alright, bring it on. One of them actually calls him Fat Boy. I think it's this one.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he's like, bring it on, Fat Boy. It's like, wow, you're very sweet.
It must be all those hamburgers he's business eating.
Alright. Just have to heal in the first turn. Yep, that's why you heal. Ooh, alright. Jesus, these cops sometimes. Just gonna have to hope for the best with Strong.
Wow. They've been working out.
Oh, they sure have been. Then again, you're a child, right? So...
How old is Ness supposed to be?
We don't actually know his age. Oddly enough, right?
Yeah, interesting.
Alright, we're good. We're out of the little hellhole here in Onet. And now we're gonna jump into another, which is Peaceful Rest Valley. And it's not peaceful. Good luck. Alright, so now we're gonna make our way to Tucson and we're gonna get our second party member, which is Paula. We have to go in here and get this little fella for later. It's an exit mouse. Whenever you use them, the last place you entered, or like the entrance of the cave, he'll lead you directly to there, so you don't have to do the walk back.
Oh, that's nice.
Mm-hmm. You gotta watch out for the mushrooms. Next to the present game, don't do this. Oops. Alright, I'll get the bike for the heck of it, too. This is the only time you see Ness actually act like a child, is when you get this bike. And then he just tells you all the rules, like, you can't have a teddy bear, nobody else in the party, you can't use the bike, blah blah blah. Ooh, we have like way more than enough. What happened? I was afraid that we'd be 100 short, but basically where we need to be for money.
I really like how his dad just is like, "Yep, here's more money."
Right? Alright,
I
here's
wish
the
my parents
bicycle.
did that.
Right, exactly. Here we go. And then there's the bell. And we gotta get off. Gonna give him this can of fruit juice. And then he's gonna ask for $200, which is the best investment you can do with Earthbound. So there's two kids here. It's Apple Kid and Orange Kid, and Apple Kid actually helps out and like gives you proper inventions, and then Orange Kid just later he gives you a machine that like makes raw or not raw eggs. It's boiled eggs back into raw eggs, and
Oh.
yeah, that's all he's used for.
Sounds like a good investment.
There's a butterfly. All right. So we're gonna need to just to get back up on the healing range and use that later too. For Mr. Carpenter, which we're heading to right now, these guys need to despawn first. So yeah, you can't ride the bike in any caves either. Or if it's like the space is too tight, like you won't be able to get on it as well. Ooh, no. That's great. I really hate these UFOs. Alright. Yeah, there's a lot of enemies that just kind of like randomly move, and their aggro radius is weird to me at least, because I'll be pretty far away and they're just like, oh hey, there you are, and then start chasing after you. I'm just like, oh no, the run's gonna die now.
That must make you worry quite a bit.
Yeah, it's this place. This is the one where it's peaceful Rust Valley, but it's not peaceful, like, at the slightest. Or we can get back on the bike. They don't spawn. There's a spot here where you can actually soft lock. There was that kid that was like walking behind the trees, and if a mushroom spawns underneath him and you're too high up where the trees are, then the mushroom will like push the kid towards you and you won't be able to move. And so you're basically just gonna be stuck there. I hate those guys. Alright, we can get off now. Oh, we should stay low so we don't fight Everdread. This bike isn't necessary. Whoops, by the way, I just get it for the memes. Because I don't remember if I actually saved in the department store, I'll save here. Just in case, because we're gonna do a death work. And it's wherever we saved last. We'll respawn. Oops. Okay, so instead of doing the whole any percent glitchless, it just might end up being boogie percent due to some more shuffling and just keeping everybody else on schedule. So instead of it taking 4.5 hours, it should be at least an hour and a half. What happened? Probably be an hour.
It's gonna be a mystery speed run until we finish
Ooh,
it.
yeah, pretty much. So yeah, we'll avoid most of like the stressful things that happen, but it'll still be a bit stressful until we get to boogie. Like that, alright, god. Now I remember why I stopped running this game. It's from the heart attacks.
The game just wants to make sure you're awake.
Ooh. Yeah, it's pretty much it, isn't it? Respawn that tree. Nope, nope, nope. Oh god, okay. Yeah, it's always really spooky.
There's a lot of tangoing with the enemies in this game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, some spawn plates are really bad, and you're just gonna have to hope for the best. There's these snakes in the cave, and sometimes they're, like, if your speed's a little weird, I guess, they just start chasing you. Like, you don't actually fight them, you auto-win, but they just chase you anyway, and it's really annoying. Alright, here we're gonna do more shopping. We're just gonna get the bat to do more damage, and as well as get another cap for more defense. Yes, we'll sell it. And then here we're just gonna buy some healing items. Alright. So now we're gonna go see Paula, who was kidnapped by the Happy Happiest. And they're basically just a cult, and it's really weird. And in the Japanese version, Mother 2, on their mask, they had the letters HH, but then they removed it when they moved it to North America. So she gives you this Franklin badge, which is very useful for Car Painter, because he likes to use lightning attacks, and the Franklin badge will basically just reflect it onto him, and that way we can actually fight him. Because if you don't get the Franklin badge, then you can't fight Car Painter, because he'll zap you with lightning before the battle actually starts.
Oh, that's rude. That's cheating.
Yeah, and he'll just send you back outside. But yeah, so this is the first pair of cultists fight that we do. It's because Pokey is like, oh hey, yeah, I sided with Mr. Carpenter because, you know, I'm actually a coward and I just want to fight people. But, you know, here you go, like, have fun fighting these guys. That fight can be pretty brutal. Yeah, it's like all Pokey does. Like, he'll throw enemies at you, like, through the whole game and then just, like, run away. I should probably heal. So then we're gonna fight another one, and this mansion is gonna get pretty pretty scary. So I remember one of my friends, he played the game the first time on stream, and like he got into this mansion, and he was just like, "Whoa!" Like you got so scared. And thankfully, you don't have to fight all of them. It's just one of them that you do. Oh yeah, another thing I didn't point out, there were like cults that were in the hallway, and there are fights that if you get into them, like you won't be able to run away because they're scripted. And it's in some areas of the game, not all, but area it's one. So if you end up fighting any cultists that are around, like you won't be able to run away, you have to beat them.
Oh, you get committed. Okay.
Yep. So hopefully Car Painter treats us fine. If he doesn't, then we're gonna have to like walk back here and then fight him again. So that's where he zaps you. Thankfully, the Franklin badge. Alright. Oh no, we bash first. Alright, that's good. Ooh, that's even better. Nice one turn. Well, that wasn't really stressful. But yeah, with carpet.
Do you want to just reiterate what boogie percent would be?
Oh yeah, so boogie percent, it's basically we get to 3 and there's this tent that we fight and his name is Boogie. So once we beat him, like that's it, like the run is done. And this is basically a subcategory that we have, and it's for new runners who come into the run, so they're not like really intimidated because this game can get pretty mean, and it's before like all of the crazy stressful things happen. So all we do is like fight that one boss and then like the run is done. Awesome. Yeah, it's one of the bosses that we get to in 3 before we had to like go to 3 Cave and then go to Grapefruit, go to Belch's base, and it's a lot of it's a lot of stuff, and it's not really fun unless like you're willing to really commit to this game. But so yeah, it's just a subcategory. It's very beginner friendly. Gotta watch out for these guys. And then use the key to the cabin. Ooh, there would be times where I'd walk over, not aware that I didn't get the key, because if your inventory is full and somebody tries to give you something or you try to pick up an item, like you won't pick it up unless you throw something away. So we got Paula, we just gotta get rid of some stuff, and this is gonna be for the death warp. So the little mole or whatever enemy we end up fighting will do more damage and get us back to Tucson more quickly. Whew. All right. But yeah, another thing, like what we're gonna do right now, it's gonna give us a red swirl. And we saw that at the beginning with the crow, unfortunately. But there's 3 different ways that you can enter a battle, and it's either you can surprise attack the enemy, or they're gonna surprise attack you, or it'll just be a normal encounter. So it'll be like a red swirl, a green swirl, and then a blue one. So with this one, we hope that when we force him to ambush us, he'll actually, you know, get the kid's first strike, but it's not always a guarantee. Come on, little guy. Alright. There we go, that's better. So no, the run is not dead, and it's not RIP.
Okay.
It's on purpose, yeah. So we're back in Tucson now, and we have to take out money to revive Paula, and then we do some shopping a little bit later too. So yeah, when one of the kids like gets knocked out in battle, you just have their little angel sprite following you around. So we gotta make our way up and then come back down. Talk to Mario and Luigi down there. And that's so we can get the backstage pass and set them free. So yeah, the story with the Runaway 5 with these 2 guys is they, you know, come to perform at the Tucson Theater. They get stuck in this contract, and so they owe the manager like all of this money. And then when you save Paula, there's this man in the park, his name is Everdread. He's like, oh hey, thanks for doing that. It's like, here's $10,000. So he just gives you $10,000. Yeah.
This isn't like real life at all.
It's not. Too bad, right?
I know, right?
But yeah, so sweet little Ness, of course, who uses it to get his favorite band out of their contract, and then they leave. They also help you get to Threed because you can't walk through the tunnels because the ghosts are there. And so, when you get on the bus with the Runaway Five, they're like, yeah, our bus is too loud, so nobody can chase us. And like, you see the ghosts like try to catch up, but they just like end up going back. Yeah, this is a really cute, silly game. If you guys ever decide to play it, you should. It's worth it, I promise.
I mean, the little bit of the text that I'm reading seems really funny.
Yeah. Yeah, whenever somebody's like, I'm gonna play the game, I'm like, okay, you talk to all of the computers, not necessarily all of them, like, park, like, it's just a bunch of merchants, but like, the ones that are roaming around town, like, if you talk to them, you're gonna get a good kick out of it. And here we give Paula the backstage pass. And the reason why we do that is because whenever there's an item, more items in the inventory, it creates a little bit of lag. So when we move stuff to like the other characters, so when Nessa's inventory opens up, it's not super laggy. So then we go backstage and this little girl's like, please let me pose as your sister. I want to meet the band. Super fangirl. And then here's the Runaway 5 show. And it's a nice little break. Oh yeah, baby. And they do their little dance.
So it says Runaway 5, but there are 6 of them?
Yep, I was gonna get to that. Yeah, we're sure, but I think it's the keyboard, the piano player who like isn't actually part of the band, like he's just there to help with the performance, but yeah. Yep, but we get that. Man, it's the Runaway 5, but why is there them? We're like, because the keyboard player doesn't count. So yeah, they're just like, whoa, we're free. And they're like, all right, let's go. Let's get out of here. Oh, let's get the picture here. Might as well, right? Probably trigger some other pictures just to kill a little bit more time.
Fuzzy pickles.
Yeah. Get out of my way. So here we're gonna go into the little ghost tunnel.
Is Ness driving this?
No, it's the Runaway 5, the band members who are driving.
Well, I thought maybe he just started driving, and I was like, I don't think he's allowed to drive.
Yeah, it's like just let some 10-year-old, like possibly 10-year-old, start driving the bus. now we're coming up to the scary zombie town, which is Threed. It's super dark and gloomy. Although later in the game, it's not dark and gloomy anymore after you save it. Alright, so we're gonna make our way up, and we're going to the graveyard. In hopes that there's not too many flies or scary monsters that are waiting. Just like this, and then the ghost sometimes can clip through some of the gravestones or just like the barrier, the wall around, which is not fun. Then we're gonna meet up with 2 scary zombies over here.
He stares into your soul.
Yeah. Oh goodness, alright, no, it's fine. And then here we find a hooker!
Are you kidding me?
Nope, she's right there. And then we talk to the guy who's staring at her. He's like, take a look at that chick in front of the hotel. Regardless of what some people have seen her hanging out with, I think I'd like to spend some time with her. And then you follow the hooker into the hotel.
There's always something new in this game, and we're not even like halfway through it.
Yeah, exactly. And then what happens? Oh no, we get ambushed. It's a zombie hooker undercover. But yeah, once she like tries to escape into the hotel room, like you can try to talk to her and it just says no problem here because like she doesn't actually have a script or any text. And now we're going to Winters to meet our best friend Jeff. And you'll hear a lot of runners who complain about Jeff and say that he sucks, and then he doesn't actually suck. But we use Jeff mainly for his items. They're called like bottle rockets, big bottle rockets, and multi-bottle rockets. And the multi-bottle rockets we use a lot for the late game, for like the end game, like the boss rush. Just like when we fight Pokey at the end too. And he's supposed to do a lot of damage as long as his speed is okay, or maybe if he's up to it. Because the multi-bottle rocket can do 2,000 damage, but sometimes he'll just do 140, and it's like, well, that's not very helpful. So, it gets pretty rough. But besides that, he's actually a very broken character in the game and speedrun. So Paula prays and wakes Jeff up. And this is his best friend, Tony. It's like, well, I don't understand what you're saying, but I'll help you anyway. Help him escape from the boarding school. And the esteemed teacher that helps. So he's gonna give us this key that's supposed to work for the lockers. And then we're gonna go and try to open the locker, and it's not gonna work, and then you go back to him, and he's like, oh, I knew it wasn't gonna work, but here's this machine so you can open the lockers. Yeah, it's really stupid.
Giving you the go-around. Do all this work.
He's like, it didn't work, haha, I did it. It's like, no, it didn't, you jerk. So now we get to get some beautiful items. Just the Holmes hat and then a gun that Jeff will be able to use, the pop gun. Whoops. And then we're actually going to get the worst character in the game, which is Bubble Monkey. So he's basically this little guy, this little monkey that helps you get to the next part of the game. But he likes to disconnect from Jeff, so you'll see him follow and then he'll stop and then like look around and then like frantically start chasing after you again to catch back up. And we try to avoid some encounters and like do some fight skips, but as long as he cooperates, like, yeah, it'll work. But if he disconnects at any point, then we're just gonna end up getting a forced encounter. Sometimes it'll help because he can like give you a green swirl, but a majority of time it doesn't help. So let's see. Alright. No enemies here, which is good. Sometimes a goat will spawn, or just the crow, or the dog. And if you see a dog there, sometimes it's better to take the fight, because he can drop another healing item for you, in case a pond cave goes wrong. Or brick road, and we have to heal again. Because we only have a boiled egg. So we're gonna take a nap here. And Paul is just praying again, letting you know to head south. And something really cool with Jeff is that he can fix broken items in the game. You just have to get his IQ high enough. But there's some stuff later that's pretty useful. Actually, let's get the picture, why not? And then Jeff doesn't pose like Ness. It's only Ness. Alright, come on, monkey. So this is the only part where Bubble Monkey is useful.
Nessie, is it you?
And instead of Nessie, her name is Tessie.
Gotcha. I see what they did there.
Yep. Yeah, thank you for everyone who stopped by for this off the bat Earthbound run. We just had some problems with one of the ladies who was gonna run Chrono Trigger, so decided to do Earthbound. It was gonna be the full game, but other people needed their runs to be back on track, so I said, alright, let's just do Boogie%. And unfortunately, we're not actually Boogie. But that's okay. I guess we kinda did with the Runaway 5 show. So there goes Tessie. Goodbye, Tessie. So here, instead of walking straight down, I walk down diagonally like that, it's because in parts of the games where if you walk a certain way, it'll despawn enemies, or like the enemies won't spawn, even though their spawn rate is like 100% or like a 90%. Just like doing some weird thing like that will make them not show up. This is the worthless protoplasm. Okay, good. He can also be very mean. But thankfully, when he called for help, none of his friends came. We're gonna try to get the duck skip, but we'll see if that happens. No, come back down, please. Come on. Come on. Oh, the other way. Alright. Come on. Yeah, it's not patient enough for this right now. Just fight him. It's the Mad Duck. He's not very threatening. Unless he pecks at your eyes, but usually he'll like make something spin around or disrupt your senses, or just fall. Keeps missing too, that's nice. Alright, and And this is one skip that I was talking about. Just kind of make Bubble Monkey go. Oh, yep, I should have waited again. It's alright. Alright, so we had to fight all 3 enemies, but not too big of a deal. Just get that cookie out of the way. Yeah, there was that man standing outside, and that was Brick Road, and his dream is to become, like, a man that's a dungeon. So, like, a mobile dungeon, which is Dungeon Man. And later, he actually achieved that dream. Pretty fucking great. Ah. Alright, here come the skips. That mushroom. Whoops. No, there's too many enemies. Usually you can try to stutter past them, but if there's too many enemies on screen, then it's just gonna lag, and stutter stepping won't really work too well after that. Maybe if I drag you down. I need you to come over here. Alright, so that was kind of scary. And actually, that second part. Get Bubble Monkey to bring down the rope, and then we're gonna get that bottle rocket and that present, and we're gonna use that for Boogie. Just in case the big bottle rocket ends up missing or hitting for very low damage. I'll have some backup. I'll also save before the fight. Yeah, alright. These mushrooms would ever leave. Alright, there we go, that's better.
Oh?
Yep, he's like, hey, I think I like her. Like, constantly chases her. And later they get married.
Aww.
So here we're at Dr. Anonette's lab, which is Jeff's dad. He asks you, like, hey, would you like a donut? And if you say yes, he's like, well, I was offering, but I'd also like to have a donut. Alright. Then he just tells us if we check Stonehenge. And to get in the Skyrunner, go meet up with our friends. This is another little cutscene. It's a nice little break.
And away we go.
Yeah, so when we get on the Skyrunner, we get to see all of these different places that we end up visiting after we finish Threed. So that's Foreside, and then we go back up to the sky, and then we fly over the desert. Alrighty. So we're gonna do a little more shopping after land in quotation marks. Well, technically we landed. Well, it was more of a crash landing.
Right into a graveyard.
Yep, right where
homie.
right where they're at, Ness and Paula. So now this door that was locked that we couldn't escape through, we have the broken the broken key machine. And we can just use it on the door, or the bad key. There we go. And then the door opens. We're home free, almost at least. So yeah, this fight that's coming up, it's Boogie Tent. And this is where the run will end, as long as he cooperates and, you know, doesn't kill us 5 times. But like I said, we'll be saving after we finish the shopping. That way we don't have to keep doing the shopping after a possible death. But we pick up that teddy bear there, and it's for some protection. And we're gonna sell the defense spray. But yeah, if you ever have a teddy bear, then it's not always highly likely, but it's pretty likely that any enemy fight will hit the teddy bear instead of the children. So he's basically a little tank. Just gonna fill him up. So this isn't necessary, but precautions. We're gonna go save in the drugstore. Because it was during a relay race, team relay, that I did for one of the previous limit breaks. I ended up losing. I think it was Jeff, like for that fight before he set off the big bottle rocket. So I had to keep praying with Paula in order to revive him, or for her to do damage to Boogie Tent. So hopefully it doesn't go the same. Hey, this big purple tent. Oh no, there's a fake.
Oh my gosh. Like, what?
Of course it's Jeff. Well, it's basically the same thing that happened. Alright. Pray. We'll just try to see what happens here. Alright, there we go. There's the first turn revival. Alright, don't hit Jeff again. Okay. This should kill him. Alright. And then when I pick up the jar of fly honey in the trash can, that's when time will end. So yeah, it's like Jeff and Paul are both, and so you just get a lot of experience for them with this fight, and they level up like maniacs. Alright, that's good. And it's time.
Woo!
Yay!
Good job.
Thanks. The beginning was afterwards, yeah, everything went pretty smoothly. If you're interested in Earthbound, by all means, like I said, this is a subcategory and it's really short, but it's a lot easier than like running the whole game. But If anyone also would like to play it, you should. 'Cause it's just a fun game overall.
It definitely seems very interesting.
Yeah.
Definitely
Alright.
enjoyed it.
That's good. I'm happy you did. Shout outs to the Earthbound community, all of my friends that I made there, and to Megan Zost. Thank you guys.
Alright, guys. Coming up next is going to be Final Fantasy VII PC Any Percent by Natara. So just hang in tight, and we'll be doing that in a couple of minutes.
Bye.